This just in. A revelation so explosive, so deeply unsettling, it's sending shockwaves across the global entertainment industry and cracking the polished veneer of Hollywood's most celebrated success story. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, known to millions as a symbol of strength, charisma, and unbreakable optimism, has been thrust into the center of a sealed federal investigation that until now remained hidden from the public eye. Leaked testimony transcripts obtained from a confidential courtroom proceeding in Los Angeles have unveiled a dark and disturbing underside to Johnson's meteoric rise. A rise that may have come with a price far more horrifying than anyone could have ever imagined. According to insiders and corroborated by federal court records reviewed by investigative journalists, Johnson testified under oath about a secret network allegedly operating behind the glitz and glamour of Hollywood, a network described as shadowy, powerful, and steeped in ritualistic control. The Rock, whose public image has long been associated with discipline, family values, and motivational resilience, reportedly described in painful detail how he was first approached in the early 2000s. Not by a director, not by an agent, but by what he referred to as a handler, an industry gatekeeper offering him the keys to superstardom in exchange for total submission to an elite system few outsiders know even exists. He was allegedly promised career longevity, global adoration, and financial immunity, but at a harrowing cost. His silence, his loyalty, and a sacrifice that, in his own chilling words, would bind him to them forever. The sealed documents, which were never meant to be seen by the public, contain bombshell admissions that Johnson may have been coerced into participating in symbolic rituals and secret gatherings attended by some of Hollywood's most powerful and untouchable figures. Gatherings shrouded in coded language, NDA agreements, and layers of security designed to keep everything off the record and out of the headlines. In one emotionally gripping portion of the leaked transcript, Johnson is reported to have said, "It wasn't an invitation. It was a test. Say no and everything you've built disappears. Say yes and you're theirs, body, voice, soul, and silence." According to sources inside the courtroom, the atmosphere during the testimony was electric, tense, and at moments deeply unsettling. Several courtroom employees reportedly requested psychological leave following the hearing, while one legal aide fainted mid-session after a particularly graphic portion of the testimony describing an initiation ceremony Johnson allegedly witnessed involving a young up-and-coming actor, whose name has been redacted for legal protection. This ceremony, according to Johnson, was framed as a rebirth, a symbolic death of the past self and a pledge of loyalty to what insiders call the inner circle. An elusive group described as a puppet master entity responsible for orchestrating careers, media narratives, and even celebrity scandals to keep public attention controlled and reputations manageable. Johnson's statement describes the group as having layers of control, including agents, producers, publicists, and media outlets, all working in coordinated secrecy. "They script everything," he said. "Even the downfalls. Even the comebacks. If you step out of line, they'll destroy you, then offer you redemption on their terms." He described one particular moment when he was allegedly presented with a choice: to walk away from a leading role in a major action franchise or make a personal offering. He didn't elaborate on the nature of the offering, only saying, "I gave them something they could never return. Something I can never get back." Speculation has erupted online as fans and conspiracy analysts attempt to connect dots between this cryptic comment and a tragic family event from Johnson's early fame years that had, until now, been attributed to natural causes. Even more disturbing are claims that some well-known celebrity deaths, officially labeled overdoses or accidents, may have in fact been orchestrated punishments for breaking the code of silence. In one stunning moment in the transcript, Johnson reportedly stopped and asked if the room had been swept for recording devices. When assured the session was secure, he leaned forward and whispered, "If they know I'm talking, I won't make it to the premiere of my next film." Legal analysts reviewing the document say this is not just about one man's testimony, but potentially the unraveling of a global entertainment power structure built not on talent and creativity, but on compliance, manipulation, and fear. "The machine is bigger than any star," Johnson allegedly said. "You think you're climbing a ladder, but it's really a chain. And every link is someone else's silence." Among the most troubling revelations is a list of redacted names Johnson referred to as those who vanished. rising stars who reportedly disappeared from the industry after rejecting initiation offers or threatening to go public. Johnson claimed some were sent to rehab under false pretenses, some were framed in tabloid scandals, and others simply faded out, their reputations dismantled by quiet smear campaigns orchestrated from within. He also spoke of psychological conditioning, telling the court that handlers often isolate talent from their families, manufacture stress and paranoia, and then reintroduce themselves as the only source of stability. They break you, then rebuild you in their image, he said. The question now being asked across social media, alternative news platforms, and even inside the halls of power in Washington is simple. How deep does this go? If Dwayne Johnson, arguably one of the most universally loved celebrities on the planet, felt powerless inside this machine, who else is trapped in its gears? Johnson has yet to issue a public statement, but an anonymous post from an account believed to be operated by someone inside his team appeared on a dark web forum hours after the leak, reading, "He's not the only one. More will speak if it's safe." Already, speculation has begun about which other A-list actors, musicians, or influencers might be under similar control. Whispers are circulating of an upcoming documentary, already in production, that will dive into the allegations using hidden camera footage, anonymous whistleblower interviews, and timeline analysis to expose this system of celebrity manufacturing. Meanwhile, high-profile media figures and podcast hosts are calling for congressional investigations into Hollywood's shadow economy, including secretive financial deals, offshore shell companies, and private gatherings allegedly attended by studio heads, political operatives, and even members of foreign intelligence networks. One former security expert who worked in elite Hollywood circles told reporters, "You think it's just entertainment, but it's a theater of power. The scripts are written for public consumption, but the real story is always in the shadows." Perhaps the most chilling quote from Johnson's testimony comes near the end, when he says, "I wish I could tell every kid dreaming of fame what I know now. That sometimes the higher you rise, the darker it gets. That sometimes to be seen by everyone, you have to become invisible to yourself." As this story continues to develop, with journalists racing to confirm the details and legal teams working overtime to spin or suppress the fallout, one thing is clear. This is no longer about one celebrity. This is about a system so powerful, so hidden, and so deeply embedded in our cultural consciousness that exposing it could change the way we view fame, power, and even freedom itself. Stay tuned as we continue to follow this breaking story, one that may forever alter the narrative of Hollywood's golden age, and the cost of stardom.